Hi everyone, my name is Felix Schulte-Strathaus. I'm an LLB graduate from Maastricht University 2016 with an additional minor in human and legal decision making. Currently, I'm finishing my LLM at UCL in London, so I'm sorry I can't be there right now myself. Well, today I wanted to... sorry, that's a bit blurry. I think that's better. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about my experience in Law Without Walls. It's an online community which puts legal students from around the world together to innovate and collaborate on social and legal problems that we're facing through the possibilities of technology. Personally, for me, I think it's been life-changing. I want to do that with 4 steps. First, I want to tell you how I got here. Second, I want to tell you the process and kind of walk you through it. Then I want to talk about what I learned and what I'm using with it. Actually, I knew that I wanted to join Law Without Walls ever since I applied for UCL. In fact, it was a big part of my letter of motivation. So when I finally arrived at UCL, although a week late and jet-lagged, I was ready to apply. And as the interview process went on, I got more and more nervous because I realized that this is really what I want. This kind of, this thing between law and technology, and I was ready to throw myself in. A Law Without Walls is a collaborative project, and I wouldn't be doing this justice if I didn't introduce to you my team members. We have Mathieu from Paris, we have Suki from Peking University, and then we have White from Melbourne University. They're fantastic people, and over the 4 months we really got to know each other very well. So the way that this works overall is that 4 months you have one project of worth which you're going to present at the end, and you present a specific topic. We were given the topic of cyberbullying, underage and underrepresented. And from the brainstorming session, we quickly realized that one group which was specifically targeted by cyberbullying disproportionately to their size in the population, specifically in media networks such as Facebook, were the LGBTQ+ community. So, to make a long story short, what we built was, we had this idea of a chatbot. We wanted to build a first aid bandit. Now, what set AmyBot and our team apart was that in London, with the opportunity from my fantastic mentors, I was able to learn how to develop the chatbot itself. So by the time that we presented for the Law Without Walls community, this chatbot was live. There was no question about it that the process was gruesome, exhausting, and at times very, very draining. But there was this consistent boost of energy that I got most Wednesdays, which is when we did these seminars. And these seminars were hosted by Law Without Walls by inviting thought leaders. They were called thought leaders because not only were they experts in their field, but they were also leading the discussion and pioneering the possibilities of how they felt about what law and technology could achieve together in one way or another. For example, one of my personal highlights was was being on the same kind of panel as the former head of the Canadian Bar Association. But to me, that possibility of that kind of connection and openness in the community, of being a peer to those people, that was amazing. And the way that Law Without Walls achieved that was also in part because of this first name basis, no tie kind of informality about the whole thing. That made me feel really comfortable about the entire process and gave me the opportunity to throw myself in. So as we were working on our project and as I was attending things in London to learn how to develop a chatbot, we had these consistent, for me, motivational boosts, which gave me the opportunity to learn more and more about the different possibilities of law and technology. Mentorship was probably the biggest thing I took away from Law Without Walls. First, there was the mentorship from the organizers themselves, with Erica and Michelle giving up precious time to talk to each and every team, including ours, several times throughout the process and make sure that we were going through these steps that they had created for us to go from brainstorming to really prototyping and presenting a real idea. And aside from that, we also had our own team mentors. So we had a team leader who was working in London in a company called Microsystems called Theo. Then we had a private equity analyst in New York and also a lawyer from Rio de Janeiro. This kind of a network and the enthusiasm that they gave us and the time they gave us meant so much to me, because it showed me that if these people can care about what we're doing, surely we should be going twice as hard. And that's what we did. Especially in the last month, our team really pulled together and worked consistently around the clock. That's one of those coolest things about working across the globe, is that basically it's always 8 to 8 p.m. somewhere. So whilst I'm sleeping over here in London, I knew that in Melbourne things were going at the fullest pace. And it was really exciting, almost like receiving a gift every morning of how the project was moving on. So as we were moving closer, I also had the opportunity of working closer with the Vice Dean and Law Without Walls coordinator for UCL, Dr. Donovan. She was a fantastic help in making sure that our team was stable under the intense pressure that we were being put under to perform at our very best, and that I was also happy with the result and kind of was, maturing in the process. So after months of working together with my team, working together with the different mentors that we had, and participating in these interactive seminars, the big final presentation took place. And that big final presentation, although all virtually, was actually something that I did within the same kind of room space of my competitors from UCL, but really just another great network of fantastic friends who I had the privilege of meeting and collaborating together in terms of sharing ideas. And then we announced the results, and that's what the next video is about. But I just want to point out, and I can't stress this enough, that technically speaking, we were competitors. And I've taken part in a lot of competitions and I've never had the privilege of considering every single one of them my friend and having a genuine joy for their success, although it would directly affect how I would do.
Yes!
What did I do with my experience at Law Without Walls? Well, let me tell you. First, it inspired my thesis, my master thesis, on the potential of an alternative business system within continental Europe. The way that came about actually was quite funny. Is I was researching it independently with my supervisor at UCL, and then I came across really the kind of holy grail, that piece that was written 10 years ago, which kind of gives you that foundation to explore further about how the situation is evolving. And coincidentally, one of the supporters of Law Without Walls, also who was in the chat rooms of our community, was actually the writer of that paper. Except, although to me he was always Professor Dr. John Flood, in the chat rooms itself he was just John. So when he messaged me the first time, hey, have you seen this, quoting his paper and one that he supervised, I said, yeah, of course, thanks so much, John. And only later did it occur to me that this John is the very John that I'm kind of fangirling really hard. We actually had the pleasure of meeting then several times when he came across to London. Fantastic and really helped my academic kind of pursuit of this. On a totally another note, Law Without Walls itself has given me the opportunity to continue working for its program as an officer next year to support the kind of technological advancements that the students can brainstorm and create within the very tight 4-month process. I'm very much looking forward to being able to participate in this fantastic community as a supporter myself. And finally, the network that Law Without Walls has given me in London and beyond has been incredible. It's really done so far 2 things. First, I was able to network myself into this fantastic conference, the JD Horizons Conference, organized by a firm called Janders Dean. And second, and perhaps most importantly, because of the different kind of LinkedIn connections that I was suddenly making, I was able to receive and see all these posts, which probably weren't hidden at any extent, but just weren't visible within my radar, about what legal tech was offering. It's a very scary field from the legal perspective, because thus far only really qualified lawyers with 10 years of experience or more who are fed up with the system are part of it. There's no kind of young lawyers, so to say, because I'm not even qualified, who have begun as a kind of, intern level and then moving their way up within the field, just because that doesn't exist yet. There is no ladder yet. But that opportunity has arisen from a startup in Australia, which is actually now just currently expanding into London, called Law Advisor. And through a LinkedIn post that I saw, and then following them on Twitter and on LinkedIn, I've been invited and have started working as of this month as a UK intern for Law Advisor within their business operations, but since this has the true startup kind of vibe to it within every part of the project. And I'm very excited to continue, and I'm going to shut my mouth until I say something that I'm not allowed to say. On a personal level, what it really did for me was show me, just like that minor did for the first time at Maastricht, that law can be so much more than the black and white letter. I know that at Maastricht University we learn how to kind of use law as a tool, not just simply to apply it, but at the same time I wasn't really sure what that meant in a practical sense for a job, because I wanted to stay involved and still really want to stay involved within law and the access to justice that it has, and also kind of the legal field itself, but I didn't know how to do that. So what this experience gave me was an opportunity to see that as a law student, I can give so much more than just legal expertise. I also think that very soon, with the technology that has arisen, we will be disrupting this field, that there is no more that same need to have 30 lawyers work for 30 days on one case, simply because our industry hasn't discovered Control F yet. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope that I was of some help. I've just added kind of my different links, like here or something, and I would love to connect and keep in touch. If you're ever in London, let me know. Bye.